Hello, hello, hello. This is Tando from Cosmic Spark, and I'm back again with another video. It has been at least a week since my last video. I have been recovering from ACL surgery on my left knee, and I thought may as well take it slow now because I'm gonna have to resume my normal activities as I get more and more into healing. So I hope that all of my other videos were sufficient enough to keep you interested during this little hiatus that I had. I've already done a pre-shuffle for today's reading. It looks like the overarching energy of the reading is the Empress, so we'll get right into that. Let's get straight into it, okay? Alrighty, so collective, you have come through as the portal in the Alexis Raccoon deck. Magical Oracle Spirit, something like that. Spirit Oracle. The portal. Your ancestral team, the people that look after you from beyond the veil, so to speak, are asking you to take this time to pause and reflect before a big jump. Think about it like the calm before the storm. You know, you're about to enter into a busy period of your life. You're about to enter into something new, maybe like the full energy, that sort of thing. And before you make that leap, before you take a stand to show where you're going at this point in time, you need to continue riding whatever wave that you've been riding so far, whatever you've been doing. If you feel like you have just been chugging along, you know, because there's bigger like milestones yet to come and this is the boring period, you ride that wave. If you have been doing a lot of self-reflection, a lot of meditation, if you've been really focused on your sixth house, because that is coming up later in the reading, then you focus on that. Whatever you've been in, focus on that, but then reflect on what that has done for you to be in this phase. What are the things that you enjoy about the phase that you've been in? What are the things that you want to leave behind? We've just finished up with a full moon in Libra. Full moons are a perfect time for you to release things that no longer serve you. You can also commit to new goals if you want. The full moon is more of like a full spectrum of things that you can do with it. You can always just check with your cards, check with your intuition. So you could wait until, actually now while the moon is waning is a perfect time to reflect and release as well. So you can do that even though we've just passed the full moon. This is a time to conserve your energy. This is a time to conserve your money. This is a time not so much focused on doing. If you're doing anything, you're doing what you've already done prior. This is more of a time of like conserving your energy, which makes sense because we are in autumn in the southern hemisphere. Things should be energetically slowing down as we head into winter, and we are just approaching that halfway point of autumn as well, okay? There is something here about a truth that is going to reveal itself to you. This can be a truth that was hidden, if we remember that Empress is the overarching energy of the reading. There is a deeper inner truth surrounding your routines and surrounding self-flagellation. So you may realize in retrospect that some of your behaviors, while they were good and serving you immediately, like serving that immediate need to feel like you've done something, right? Or it served you because you just felt good in the moment and you weren't looking at anything else. You might realize that you were punishing yourself. It was a form of self-punishment. Because why would a person who loves themselves, cares about themselves, their well-being, any of those things, why wouldn't someone like that make sure that they're eating well, make sure that their environment doesn't get too cluttered? Why wouldn't anyone in a healthy state of mind do things that help their future self? When we are younger, when we are being short-sighted, it's very easy to do things in the moment. I'm going to eat this burger because it feels nice for me, for present me. I don't care about future me. I don't care what she has to deal with. And yet, it is actually such a sign of growth, maturity, and self-love when you can turn that around and be like, okay, it's actually not painful for me to make good decisions for myself when I've changed my mindset. When you're in that old mindset, yes, it does feel like a punishment. But once you change your state of mind and you're doing anything you're doing from a place of love, love of self, care of self, then all of these little daily actions is a love letter to yourself. And all of it is all part of the grand plan. It's the difference between why does everything happen to me and everything happens for my highest and greatest good. It's just a perspective shift. In both cases, you are acknowledging that they are functions that occur without your control. But in one state of mind, you're going, oh my God, this stuff is happening at me without my consent. And in the other one, you're going, whatever is happening around me or at me is eventually, even if I can't see it now, going to pan out for my highest and greatest good. It is going to reveal to me that I couldn't even see my own shortcomings and my own shortfalls as a person, that sort of thing. So I see that coming through you. I see you stepping into an energy where you're kind of thinking about self-seduction, thinking about walking through the house, cleaning, doing your daily thing, but pretending like you're in a movie, pretending like you're in whatever kind of scenario that would make it more enjoyable, and looking at that as like self-love, and looking at that as enticing and something that is calling to you, calling for you to accept it and grab it by its horns and take full advantage and take full responsibility. Once again, self-reflection is coming up. This time we're looking at thinking about what you're looking for, big picture. While you're reflecting, what is your end goal and what are the steps in between? Have your goalpost shifted. It's perfectly fine over time and in life for your goalpost to shift as your priorities shift, as you grow, as you change. So there's something there to do with you either scripting the life that you want, big picture, or writing it out, or even like having a conversation with yourself through your writing about what your goals have been, maybe at least within the decade. So for me, I'm in my 20s. In my 20s, how have my goals changed from when I was 20 to now that I'm 28? And how do I feel like that's going to affect future me? What does that mean for my daily actions? What does that mean for my daily devotions? What does that mean for me, right? Reflect on. This could be a really good time to pause if you're like me and you started a project rather recently. You kind of hit the ground running, put out some content, wrote a book, did whatever, put it out there, and you were kind of go, doing everything anyone should do that cares about what they're doing, cares about their creative outlet, anything like that. If you've been going for the last few months, this is a really good time to self-reflect on what you've done, how you've grown, what you are proud of yourself for, what you've learnt, and how you might make changes based off of the things that you didn't enjoy and the things that you noticed were lacking or could have gone better. This message could be particularly important for a masculine listening to this. You might need to be reflecting on your big picture, your creative outlets, your creative projects, your money-making projects, and your self-sufficiency. You might have just done a big leap. So maybe you've gone from working for someone else to working for yourself. You might have gone from living at home your whole life and you're saving money to now you finally bought a place, or you're renting your first place. There's something there about an initiatory step towards self-sufficiency. And Spirit is saying, take some time to think about how much you've achieved for yourself so far and how happy you are that you've achieved these things for yourself, okay? There is Spirit. Let's see what Spirit has for you. Yes. This is my fairy oracle. This is my fairy oracle with an I. Fairy with an I, not fairy with an E. Because I've got 2 decks and they're very different. Is there anything else we can let the collective know to kind of wrap up this message? Anything to tie it all together just so the collective knows what they should do, where they should go? Allow others to help you, okay? If you do have support, you might be someone who shies away from asking for help because you like being independent. If you know, judging from what we've discussed so far, you could be a masculine who's recently taken a big leap and you feel like asking for help would somehow take away from your autonomy and your self-sufficiency. That's not the case. You can still be an independent person who asks for help. You can still be a leader who asks for help. You can be anything and ask for help. Asking for help is not a weakness. Sometimes we tell ourselves that it is. I just as you. So I need to hear that just as much. But if you do have a support system and there is something that you could take off your plate, take the full reign, the full weight of it off of your plate and share it with someone who's willing, maybe someone who's always told you that they'd be willing to step in if you needed help in this particular area. If any of that is the case, then please do. Please reach out to your loved ones and get help in whatever it is that you need. And then you go on and you utilize that to go and make bigger, better things. And then I am sure if those very friends and family that helped you need help in the future for something that drives them towards their own goals so that they can be their biggest, highest and greatest self, I'm sure you will help too, won't you? This card says, her special place. Find your own safe space inside and out. I find solitude to be a really, really good place for me to feel safe. If I am feeling unsafe because of factors within my control, factors outside of my control, I isolate because I can hear myself clearly. If you've listened to any of my readings before, you'll know that I've said this. I can hear me clearly and I know that I am a safe place for myself. I can't always trust that I can't always take people at face value as much as I've tried, because I certainly have tried and I've been burnt enough times to know that people can always disappoint you. But you should feel that you are always there for you no matter what happens. You should feel like that. So if you don't feel like that, you need to find ways to make yourself feel more safe within yourself. And a really great place to start with that is shadow work. Little Boy Blue, dreams come true, return of the soul. I feel that this is saying your dreams are always going to come true. Like whatever is meant for you is meant for you. But how ready you are to receive the dream, how successful it is all of the stuff in between. It's not necessarily once the dream arrives. It's not always about the dream itself. It can be all the other things that you're not thinking about in between. It can be in your daily routines. It can be in your self-talk. All of these other smaller elements that you know are good for you, but maybe you're lazy about and you're scrimping out on, could be the very difference between you feeling successful and being able to take your own dreams and fulfill them to their utmost extent. You can never have too many dreams. I've achieved so many dreams that I've wanted to achieve in my 20s. I can't even think of any that I want to achieve more. But I know that I will always have more dreams to dream because the world is just a playground full of infinite possibilities. And a lot of my limitations is that I have a human brain, and sometimes I think I'm thinking big, but I'm not. Same with all of us, right? Your dreams will always be there for you, but you can make the dream so much more enjoyable, so much more like worth having by your level of input into it. You telling yourself that I could sleep, or I could do this one little thing. It doesn't have to be the big thing. Say you have a big project to be done by Wednesday, okay? But you're so overwhelmed by the fucking the enormity of the fact that it's a massive project. If all you could do tonight is one question, that's one less question for tomorrow's version of you to do. We all know that, but if you don't make your own dreams a priority, who else is supposed to? If you don't tell yourself that you can always find a way to work on your dreams no matter what's happening around you, whether you are homeless, whether someone is like yapping in your ear, if you don't tell yourself that all of those things are nothing, they're like little gnats in the way of your journey, your little Dorothy on the yellow brick road, and all of these little things are just like, they're not even a speed bumps, they're little gnats. You could just smack them out of the way and keep it pushing. Then you are going to not accomplish the things that you want to accomplish, or delay the things that you want to accomplish. And by the end of it, you're going to be like, what was I holding myself back for? I could have done this earlier if I'd had self-trust, and if I had put in enough work into believing that I am worthy of achieving my own dreams, and I am worthy of temporary discomfort for big picture gains. My future version of self is so worth any struggle I have today, so that she can relax on a beach at 55, because that's my personal goal. On a beach at 55 going, I don't have to work a single extra day in my life. I don't have to. Because past Hondo was so nice to me. She did the things that no one else wanted to do. Okay? I've met so many people, as I wrap up this reading, I've met so many people who've told me that they wanted to do very simple things. I've always wanted to go to this gym. I've always wanted to go to this suburb. I've always wanted to wear this piece of clothing. And I'm looking at them like, and what's stopping you? Unless it's literally money, which money can be an obstacle. But it's always a temporary obstacle. If you're saving money, like there are ways that you don't have to have everything you want right then and there. But like, in terms of like, what really is your obstacle though? Because I think you'll find the bulk of our obstacles have to do with our mindset. You can overcome it. Like, that's why I really love, and I think that's why as a community and as a society, we love rags to riches stories, is the idea that like someone was able to have a different mindset to everyone else in their own community and do something daring and have it work in the end. What's the difference between that person who got themselves out of the hood, okay, versus the other person who stayed in the hood? It was a mindset issue. Obviously, there may be other factors. I am speaking quite broadly, but I am saying mindset can be the big difference. Like, you might sometimes look at two siblings raised by the same loving parents, and they have different outcomes, and you're like, I don't understand. Mindset. One of them took the teachings that their parents did one way, and the other one took it another way. You can achieve anything that you want if you believe that you can achieve it. And believing it doesn't have to mean that you believe that something miraculous is going to happen. You live in Africa and you believe that like one day a man is going to come to your house, knock on the door and say, I have your dream job in America. Here's the ticket. Here's everything you'll ever need. And that's how you fall into your dream. Believing in yourself is believing that despite you coming in from the middle of nowhere, the back of beyond, in a country no one knows, whatever obstacles come your way, you will be able to find a way around. You will speak to people to try and find a different way of approaching it. You will speak to You'll do research to see how other people have approached the situation. You will find a way because you exist and because you care about yourself. Okay? Anyway, that's enough ranting. I think you get the idea. I think you get the idea. Care about your dreams. I care about your dreams. I want you to care about your dreams more than I care about your dreams because I care about my dreams more than anyone else cares about my dreams. I don't care to have anyone else care that I want to do any of these things. I'll just show them. I'll just show them one day. One day you'll see me doing any of those things I told you that I would do. And you'll be like, she said she'd do it. And I rest my case. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.